The Rigveda, hymn 6.62, Aspens. I laud the heroes twain, this heaven's controllers, singing with songs of praise. I call the aspens, fain in a moment when the morns are breaking, to part the earth's ends and the spacious regions, moving to sacrifice through realms of luster. They light the radiance of the car that bears them, traversing many wide, unmeasured spaces. Over the wastes ye pass, and fields and waters, ye to that bounteous path of yours. Ye mighty have ever borne away our thoughts with horses, minds swift and full of vigor. That trouble of man, who offers gifts, might cease in slumber. So, ye, when ye have yoked your chariot horses, come to the hymn of the most recent singer. Our true and ancient herald priest shall bring you, the youthful, bringing splendor, food, and vigor. With newest hymn I call those wonder workers, ancient and brilliant, and exceeding mighty, bringers of bliss to him who lauds and praises, bestowing varied bounties on the singer. So ye with birds out of the sea and waters bore Bujyu, son of Tugra, through the regions, speeding with winged steeds through dustless spaces. Out of the bosom of the flood they bore him. Victors car-borne, ye rent the rock asunder. Bulls heard the calling of the eunuch's consort. Bounteous, ye filled the cow with milk for Sayu. Thus, swift and zealous ones, ye showed your favor. Whate'er from olden time, heaven, earth, existeth, great object of the wrath of gods and mortals, make that Adityas, Vasus, sons of Rudra, an evil brand to one allied with demons. May he who knows, as Varuna and Mitra, heirs realm, appointing both the kings in season, against the secret fiend cast forth his weapon, against the lying words that strangers utter. Come to our home with friendly wheels for offspring. Come on your radiant chariot, rich in heroes, strike off ye twain the heads of our assailants, who with man's treacherous attack approach us. Come hitherward to us with teams of horses, the highest and the midmost and the lowest. Bountiful lords, throw open to the singer's doors e'en of the firm closed stall of cattle, where hath the hymn with reverence, like an envoy found both fair gods to get day, invoked of many, him that hath brought the two Nasatyas hither. To this man's thought be ye both gods most friendly. Come readily to this mine invocation, lauded with songs that ye may drink the juices. Compass this house to keep it from the foeman, that none may force it, either near or distant. Juice in wide room hath been prepared to feast you. For you the grass is strewn most soft to tread on. With lifted hands your servant hath adored you. Yearning for you, the pressed stones shed the liquid. Agate uplifts him at your sacrifices. Forth goes the oblation, dropping oil and glowing. Up stands the grateful-minded priest, elected, appointed to invoke the two Nasatyas, lords of great wealth, for glory. Surya's daughter mounted your car that brings 100 scores. Famed for your magic arts were ye, magicians. Amid the race of gods, ye dancing heroes, ye twain with these your glories, fair to look on, brought to win victory, rich gifts for Surya. After you flew your birds, marvels of beauty, dear to our hearts. The song well lauded reached you. May your winged coursers best to draw Nasatyas convey you to the object of your wishes. Swift as the thought, your car hath been sent onward to food of many a sort and dainty viands. Lords of great wealth, manifold is your bounty. Ye filled our cow with food that never faileth. Lovers of sweetness, yours are praise and singers. and poured libations which have sought your favor. Mine were the 2 mares of Perea, brown, swift-footed, 100 with Sumilha, food with Peruka. Sunda gave 10 gold-decked and well-trained horses, tame and obedient, and of lofty stature. Nasatyas Prupanta offered hundreds, thousands of steeds to him who sang your praises, gave heroes to the singer Bharadbaja, ye wonder-workers. Let the fiends be slaughtered. May I with princes share your bliss and freedom. And where hath the hymn reference starts the 10 verses of hymn 663, Asphins, and we think of the simple fact that us clay beings, we have a choice. So if we do well, we can be greater than the light beings. The light beings will be like, oh, come to what this guy is doing. Or gal, or whatever, right? Gender neutral. Remember, I haven't pointed that out enough. There's a lot of gender neutral stuff here. And the previous hymn of 11 verses, we think of, that Buddhist principle of, oh, well, you've achieved enlightenment. Well, you still remain and keep doing your deeds because, again, these beings are coming to take part in it. And it's still accomplishing stuff. Hymn 664, Dawn, 6 verses. The radiant dawns have risen up for glory in their white splendor like the waves of waters. She maketh paths all easy, fair to travel, and rich, hath shown herself benign and friendly. We see that thou art good, far shines thy luster, thy beams, thy splendors have flown up to heaven. Decking thyself, thou makest bare thy bosom, shining in majesty, thou goddess morning. Red are the kine and luminous that bear her, the blessed one, who spreadeth through the distance. The foe she chaseth like a valiant archer, like a swift warrior she repelleth darkness. Thy ways are easy on the hills, thou passest invincible, self-luminous through waters. So lofty goddess with thine ample pathway, daughter of heaven, bring wealth to give us comfort. Dawn, bring me wealth, untroubled with thine oxen. Thou bearest riches at thy will and pleasure. Thou who, a goddess, child of heaven, hast shown thee lovely through bounty when we called thee early, as the birds flying forth from their resting places, so men with store of food rise at thy dawning. Yea, to the liberal mortal who remaineth at home, O goddess Dawn, much good thou bringest. And the different aspects of what goes on in the heavens is important. One of the things that we've recently had attention to is, you can have solar flares and aurora borealis and all that sort of stuff, and actually be part of causing cold to come down or warmth to happen in certain places, and interesting stuff, right? Maybe. Hymn 665, Dawn, 6 verses. Shedding her light on human habitations, this child of heaven hath called us from our slumber. She who at night time, with her argent luster, hath shown herself even through the shades of darkness. All this with red-rayed steeds have they divided. The dawns on bright cars shine in wondrous fashion. They bringing near the stately rite's commencement, drive far away the night's surrounding shadows. Dawns bringing hither to the man who worships glory and power and might and food and vigor, opulent with imperial sway like heroes. Favor your servant and this day enrich him. Now is there treasure for the man who serves you, now for the hero Dawns who brings oblation, now for the singer when he sings the praise song, even to one like me ye brought aforetime, O Dawn who standest on the mountain ridges, Angirasas, now praise thy stalls of cattle. With prayer and holy hymn they burst them open. The hero's calling on the gods was fruitful. Shine on us as of old, thou child of heaven, on him rich maid, who serves like Bharadvaja, give to the singer wealth with noble heroes, and upon us bestow widespreading glory. Now, in the Quran, there's the talk of the Sakina and the Shekinah in the Bible. And, it's the angelic presence. Whether it's Gabriel or the other angels actually experiencing on some sensual or other more intense or more holy level that presence. Hymn 6.66, Marutas, 11 verses. E'en to the wise let that be still a wonder, to which the general name of cow is given. The one hath swelled among mankind for milking. Presne hath drained but once her fair bright udder. They who like kindled flames of fire are glowing. The Marutas twice and thrice have waxed mighty. Golden and dustless were their cars, invested with their great strength and their heroic vigor. They who are sons of the rain-pouring Rudra, whom the long-lasting one had power to foster, the mighty ones whose germ great mother, Presne, is known to have received for man's advantage. They shrink not from the birth in this same manner, still resting. There they purge away reproaches, when they have streamed forth brilliant at their pleasure. With their own splendor they bedew their bodies, even those who bear the brave bold name of Marutas, whom not the active quickly wins for milking, even the liberal wards not off those fierce ones, those who are light and agile from their greatness. When strong in strength and armed with potent weapons, they had united, well-formed earth and heaven. Rodasi stood among these furious heroes like splendor shining with her native brightness. No team of goats shall draw your car, O Marutas, no horse, no charioteer. Be he who drives it, halting not, reinless through the air it travels. Speeding alone its paths through the earth and heaven, none may obstruct, none overtake. O Marutas, him whom ye succor in the strife of battle, for sons and progeny, for kine and waters, he burst the cow stall on the day of trial. Bring a bright hymn to praise the band of Marutas, the singers, rapid, strong, and native vigor, who conquer mighty strength with strength more mighty. Earth shakes in terror at their wars, O Acne. Bright like the flashing flames of sacrifice, like tongues of fire, impetuous in their onset, chanting their psalms, singing loud, like heroes, splendid from birth, invincible, the Marutas. That swelling band I call with invocation, the brood of Rudra, armed with glittering lances. Pure hymns are meet for that celestial army. Like floods and mountains have the strong ones battled. And one of the names for Enochian is celestial speech. I mean, one of the real names, Enochian's colloquial. And in the Quran, we have this talk about the jinn, or the smokeless fire. Here we have the dustless. See, these beings may have influence in the clay being realm, particularly the material manifestation of this, in which these souls dwell. But, they're not the dust. So they're completely, these physical talks, like, well, the fire burns up, and it's like, well, what about the fires of hell? Well, the fire that would punish them, if that's what you're talking about. But the jinn have their languages and formulas and stuff too. And, certainly the clay beings who incarnate, their will, there's some stuff there going on too. Hymn 6.67, Mitra Varuna, 11 verses. Now, Mitra Varuna shall be exalted high by your songs, noblest of all existing. They who, as 'twere with reins, are best controllers, unequaled with their arms to check the people. To you, two gods, is this my thought extended. Turn to the sacred grass with loving homage, give us, O Mitra Varuna, a dwelling safe from attack, which ye shall guard, boon givers. Come hither, Mitra Varuna, invited with eulogies and loving adoration. Ye who, with your might as work controllers, urge even men who quickly hear to labor, whom a pure origin, like two strong horses, Aditya bore as babes in proper season, whom mighty at your birth, the mighty goddess brought forth as terrors to the mortal foemen, as all the gods in their great joy and gladness gave you with one accord your high dominion, as ye surround both worlds, though wide and spacious, your spies are ever true and never bewildered. So through the days maintaining princely power, ye propped the heaven as 'twere from loftiest heaven. The star of all the gods established filleth the heaven and earth with food of man who liveth. Take the strong drink to quaff till ye are sated. When he and his attendants fill the chamber, the young maids brook not that none seeks to win them. When the quickeners of all they scatter moisture, so with your tongue come ever. When your envoy, faithful and very wise, attends our worship, nourished by holy oil, be this your glory. Annihilate the sacrificer's trouble. When Mitra Varuna, they strive against you and break the friendly laws ye have established. They, neither gods nor men in estimation, like Epi's sons, have godless sacrifices. When singers in their song uplift their voices, some chant the nivid texts with steady purpose. Then may we sing you lauds that shall be fruitful. Do ye not rival all the gods in greatness? O Mitra Varuna, may your large bounty come to us hither, near to this our dwelling, when the kine haste to us, and when they harness the fleet-foot, mettled stallion for the battle. And among all that people treat as deities, there is, the higher. And, to throw in a combination in the Quran, we have Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Sort of can be thought of the giver in this world and the hereafter, right? But that's not really the equivalent of Mitra Varuna, but it's thought of in similar ways, right? And hymn 668, Indra Varuna, 11 verses. His honoring right, whose grass is trimmed, is offered swiftly to you, in Manu's wise accordant. The right which Indra Varuna shall carry this day to high success and glorious issue, for at God's worship they are best through vigor. They have become the strongest of the heroes, with mighty strength, most liberal of the princes, chiefs of the host, by law made Vritra's slayers. Praise those twain gods for powers that merit worship, Indra and Varuna for bliss the joyous. One with his might and thunderbolt slays Vritra, the other as a sage stands near and trembles. Though dames and men have waxen strong and mighty, and all the gods self-praised among the heroes, ye Indra Varuna have in might surpassed them. And thus were ye spread wide. O earth and heaven, righteous is he and liberal and helpful, who, Indra Varuna, brings you gifts with gladness. That bounteous man through food shall conquer foemen, and win him opulence and wealthy people. May wealth which ye bestow in food and treasure on him who brings you gifts and sacrifices, wealth gods which breaks the curse of those who vex us, be Indra Varuna in our own possession. So also Indra Varuna may our princes have riches to swift to save, with gods to guard them. They whose great might gives victory in battles, and their triumphant glory spreads with swiftness. Indra and Varuna, gods whom we are lauding, mingle ye wealth with our heroic glory. May we who praise the strength of what is mighty pass dangers, as with boats we cross the waters. Now will I sing a dear and far-extending hymn to Varuna, the god sublime, imperial lord, who, mighty governor, eternal as with flame, illumines both wide worlds with majesty and power. True to law, Indra Varuna, drinkers of the juice, drink this pressed soma, which shall give you rapturous joy. Your chariot cometh to the banquet of the gods to sacrifice as were home, that ye may drink. Indra and Varuna, drink your fill, ye heroes of this invigorating sweetest soma. This juice is shed by us, that ye may quaff it. On this trim grass be seated and rejoice you. And, well, God doesn't break his own law, right? But one of the things that we have, like with the previous verse, this idea of this friendly law, religious law or natural law and stuff isn't to, be cruel or just, to control for the sake of controlling. Although there's nothing wrong with the God being proud. Hymn 669, Indra, Vishnu. 8 verses. Indra and Vishnu, at my task's completion, I urge you on with food and sacred service. Accept the sacrifice and grant us riches, leading us on by unobstructed pathways. Ye who inspire all hymns, Indra and Vishnu, ye vessels who contain the soma juices, may hymns of praise that now are sung address you, the lauds that are recited by the singers. Lords of joy-giving draughts, Indra and Vishnu, come giving gifts of treasure to the soma. With brilliant rays of hymns, let chanted praises, repeated with the lauds, adorn and deck you. May your foe-conquering horses bring you hither, Indra and Vishnu, sharers of the banquet. Of all our hymns, accept the invocations, list to my prayers, and hear the songs I sing you. This your deed, Indra, Vishnu, must be lauded. Widely ye strode in the wild joy of soma. Ye made the firmament of larger compass and made the regions broad for our existence. Strengthened with sacred offerings, Indra, Vishnu, first eaters, served with worship and oblations. Fed with the holy oil, vouchsafe us riches. Ye are the lake, the vat that holds the soma. Drink of this mead, O Indra, thou and Vishnu. Drink ye your fill of soma, wonder workers. The sweet exhilarating juice hath reached you. Hear my prayers, give ear unto my calling. Ye twain have conquered. Ne'er have ye been conquered. Never hath either of the twain been vanquished. Ye, Indra, Vishnu, when ye fought the battle, produced this infinite with 3 divisions. And, the levels of creation, right, are the 3 divisions. Well, we have the light beings, the fire beings, and the clay beings. And of course, they're realms, because in each one there are things that aren't the beings, but they are of those realms, or of that type of creation. Hymn 670, Heaven and Earth, 6 verses. Filled full of fatness, compassing all things that be, wide spacious, dropping neath, beautiful in their form, the heaven and the earth, by Varuna's decree, unwasting, rich in germs, stand parted, each from each, the everlasting pair, with full streams rich in milk, in their pure rule, pour fatness for the pious man. Ye who are regents of this world, O earth and heaven, pour into us the genial flow that prospers men. Whoso for righteous life pours offerings to you, O heaven and earth, ye hemispheres, that man succeeds. He in his seed is born again and spreads by law. From you flow things diverse in form, but ruled alike. Enclosed in fatness, heaven and earth are bright therewith. They mingle with the fatness, which they still increase. Wide, broad, set foremost at election of the priest. To them the singers pray for bliss to further them. May heaven and earth pour down the balmy rain for us, balm-dropping, yielding palm, with balm of your path, bestowing by your Godhead sacrifice and wealth, great fame and strength for us, and good heroic might. May heaven and earth make food small plenteous for us, all-knowing Father, Mother, wondrous in their works, pouring out bounties, may in union both the worlds, all beneficial, send us gain and power and wealth. And if we are in union for the worlds are in union for us, in some way at least. Hymn 6.71, Savitar, 6 verses. Full of effectual wisdom, Savitar the god hath stretched out golden arms, that he may bring forth life, young and most skilful, while he holds the region up. The warrior sprinkles fatness over both his hands. May we enjoy the noblest vivifying force of Savitar the god, that he may give us wealth, for thou art mighty to produce and lull to rest the world of life that moves on 2 feet and on 4. Protect our habitation, Savitar, this day, with guardian aids around, auspicious, firm, and true. God of the golden tongue, keep us for newest bliss. Let not the evil wisher have us in his power. This Savitar, the god, the golden-handed, friend of the home, hath risen to meet the twilight. With cheeks of brass, with pleasant tongue, the holy, he sends the worshipper rich gifts in plenty. Like a director, Savitar hath extended his golden arms, exceeding fair to look on. He hath gone up from the heights of earth and heaven, and made each monster fall and cease from troubling. Fair wealth, O Savitar, today, tomorrow, fair wealth produce for us each day that passes. May we through this our song be happy gangers, God of a fair and spacious habitation. And let us bring from the day into the twilight, from the twilight into the day, from the night into the twilight into the day, these certain principles. And let our knowledge be used wisely, be brought out into the real world. Let us focus our knowing on things of value.